Everyone had a dream once. You did too. A vision so clear it kept you awake at night, made your heart beat louder, made everything else feel small. But somewhere along the way, it got quieter. You buried it beneath responsibility, fear, self-doubt. You called it unrealistic. You labeled it childish. You watched others chase theirs while you told yourself it wasn't your time. But here's the truth. Dreams don't die on their own. They don't expire like milk or vanish like smoke. They starve. They shrink from lack of attention, from the 1,000 times you said, maybe later, or not now. They fade not because they're weak, but because you stopped feeding them. You stopped showing up for them. You stopped believing in them. And when belief dies, dreams suffocate, not from failure, from neglect. Your dream is still in there, still waiting, still breathing, just quieter now. But it can roar again, if you're willing to feed it. You think your dream left you. You think life moved on, and your chance disappeared. But dreams are patient. They don't operate on the world's deadlines. They don't care how old you are, how broke you are, or how many times you fell. They're seeds. They wait in the dark, under years of doubt, until you return. And when you do, with even a little bit of faith, a little bit of effort, they begin to grow again. But growth demands nourishment, discipline, repetition, energy. Dreams feed on action. They starve on excuses. And you've been feeding your fears far more than your potential. Every time you said, "What if it doesn't work?" you were feeding fear. Every time you said, "I'm not ready," you were watering doubt. But your dream can't grow in a garden full of weeds. You've got to clean it out. Start small, if you must. But start, because your dream hasn't died. It's just waiting for you to show up again. You say you don't have time, but you scroll for hours. You say you don't have energy, but you waste it on people who don't believe in you. You say you don't have money, but you've spent a fortune avoiding your purpose. The truth is, it's not a lack of resources. It's a lack of priorities. You stopped feeding your dream because feeding it requires sacrifice. It requires saying no to comfort, to validation, to shortcuts. It requires choosing growth over pleasure, and that's not easy. But nothing great ever is. The difference between people who make it and people who don't isn't talent. It's hunger. A starving dream can still grow into something unstoppable if you're willing to give it your all. If you're willing to stop feeding your fears and start fueling your future, you already have the fire. You just forgot where you put it. Dig it up, stoke it, burn again. Most people never kill their dreams outright. They just ignore them into silence. They busy themselves with distractions. They drown in noise. They spend so much time numbing their purpose that they forget it was ever there. But deep down, late at night, in quiet moments, it whispers. You still hear it, don't you? That tiny voice asking what if. That flicker of maybe that won't die. That's your soul remembering what it's here for. And you can pretend you're too practical, too logical, too mature. But that voice will haunt you until you listen. Because it knows what you really are. It knows what you could become. And no amount of pretending can silence a truth that deep. You don't need permission to chase it. You don't need approval. You just need to choose it. Daily, painfully, powerfully. And if you do, the dream you thought was gone will rise stronger than ever. You can't keep blaming the world for what you stopped fighting for. Life didn't block your path. You stopped walking. You stopped risking. You let rejection sting once and made it a reason to never try again. But rejection isn't death. Delay isn't denial. Every great story includes moments of almost quitting. What separates winners is that they didn't. They fed the dream even in doubt. They kept moving, even when the ground shook. They invested in their dream when everyone told them to be realistic. And in the end, they didn't just succeed. They transformed. Your dream is not a luxury. It's a responsibility, a calling, a fire planted inside you for a reason. And if you don't honor it, no one else will. Stop waiting for conditions to be perfect. Stop waiting to feel ready. Start feeding the very thing you say matters most. Feeding your dream means doing the work no one sees, waking up early when you'd rather sleep, practicing when no one's watching, sacrificing comfort for growth. It's not glamorous. It's not fun all the time. It's quiet. It's lonely. It's filled with moments of doubt and days of repetition. But those are the moments that feed your dream the most, the boring ones, the invisible ones, because dreams don't need hype. They need commitment, daily commitment, relentless pursuit. You've been feeding your fears, your distractions, your ego, and they've grown fat while your dream has gone hungry. It's time to reverse that. It's time to cut off what doesn't serve you and give everything to what does. Water your vision. Protect it. Starve your excuses. That's how you resurrect a dream that's been silent for too long. If you want to know what you truly care about, look at what you feed. Your time, your energy, your attention. These are your votes, and you've been voting against yourself for far too long. Every minute you spend doubting yourself is a minute you could spend building. Every moment you indulge in fear is a moment lost from becoming more. But it's not too late. It never was. Dreams are patient, but they're not eternal. They'll wait, but not forever. Eventually, they'll fade into regret. Unless you change now, today, not next week, not when you feel inspired, but now, in this ordinary moment. This is where the extraordinary begins, not in grand declarations, but in small, consistent choices. Choose to feed what matters. Choose to stop shrinking and start rising. Don't confuse stillness with death. Your dream isn't dead. It's dormant, waiting for you to believe again, waiting for you to risk again, waiting for you to stop asking for guarantees and start taking steps in faith. No one's coming to save it. No one's coming to hand you a map. You are the map. You are the fire. You are the one who has to decide. Is the life you're living the one you want, or just the one you settled for? Because if it's not what you want, you have one job. Feed the dream. Nurture it like it's the most important thing in the world. Because it is. It's your fingerprint, your legacy, your reason. Starving it is starving yourself. Feed it, and everything changes. People will call you crazy when you go all in. They'll call you obsessed, delusional, naive. Let them. Because the moment you stop feeding their opinions and start feeding your truth, that's the moment your dream begins to breathe again. That's the moment everything shifts. You don't need the world to understand you. You just need the courage to begin. To choose the dream, to build again and again, until it stands, until it speaks louder than doubt, until it feeds others. But it starts with you. Alone, committed, relentless. You have something rare inside you, but it's starving. Feed it now. Feed it with action. Feed it with fire. Feed it with your belief. And don't stop, ever. Because the only thing worse than a dream that dies is a dream you let starve while it still had life. Don't let that be your story. Don't carry the weight of what could have been. You were given this vision for a reason, and it still matters. You still matter. The dream is still alive, waiting, watching, whispering. All it needs is your decision. So feed it and watch what happens next.